Today's podcast is going to talk about the movie The Greatest Showman on Earth. This movie was aired in 2017, American musical film drama directed by Michael Gracie in his directorial debut. Oh, I didn't know that. Written by Jenny Briggs and Bill Condon, starring Hugh Jackman, Zac Efron, Michelle Williams, Rebecca Ferguson, and Zendaya. Uh, this musical uh, adaptation is based on the actual uh, showman P.T. Barnum of the circus, which I'm going to get into that shortly. But I want to talk about the movie itself first before I get into the actual real person. Let's see if they actually show me anything. I want to give you a quick synopsis of this musical, which is actually a good musical. I mean, I'm going to talk about the actual real person a little bit, but I want to get into the actual musical. Let's see if we get a synopsis. Principal photography. I want to get the plot. Okay, down here. In the mid 19th century, P.T. Barnum and his troupe performed the show circus as a child. P.T. Barnum and his tailor father, Filippo, works for. I feel like they're telling me the actual. I want to know the movie plot, not the actual person yet, because the person's gonna be really messed up when you actually hear his actual person. But I want to get into the more fantasy part of it, so they need to not jump around. Movie. Don't be jumping around. I hate that stuff. The plot itself. Let's see. Summary. It is a good movie. Uh, Great musical numbers. Hugh Jackman is like jack of all trades, phenomenal actor and phenomenal singer. I will never take anything away from him. Also, awesome as Wolverine. Okay, let's see. Synopsis. Blah blah blah. Orphan penniless, about business with his mid-crammed in imagination, fresh ideas, the American entertainer, Phyllis Taylor, I'm not pronouncing this full name, screw all that, will always be remembered as the man who gifted the blurring lines between reality and fiction. The thirsty innovation and hungry for success son of Taylor manages to open up a wax museum, however, soon shifts focus to unique and in particular introducing extraordinary, never before seen live acts on circus. Now seen some people call the Barnum rich collection of oddities and outright freak show, but with, I'm not pronouncing the name, obsessed with cheers and responsibilities, gambles, everything away in an opera singing song like, storyline. He was a struggling showman or whatever who basically gave normal people, people who normally would not be able to live in society, especially in the 19th century, give them actual jobs and stuff to showcase their talents or their weird oddities to show the world and make money off of it. You know, and there's spoilers, but you don't need no spoilers because it's a musical. You can figure it out. In the 19th century, P.T. Barnum, like blah blah blah. But in the movie, he's basically a married man who's raising his kids, and basically, he tries his hand at starting a circus, and it's pretty much, I don't know, it's depression. The wonderful musicals in life in P.T. Barnum's depicts how founded fame and fortune by starting a circus in 1870. There was no money back then, and even less money for someone who has afflictions or whatnot. But Hugh Jackman plays basically the P.T. Barnum like character in the movie, and with Zac Efron and Zendaya and some other people. You got the traditional bearded woman. Let me see what the cast, who the cast is, because this might be helpful as well. Uh, let's see. Cast. Let's see what they give me. Actually, I don't know what. They were the greatest showman on earth in 1952. I'm gonna sidebar this real quick because I'm kind of curious what that looked like in 1952. I'll get back to the cast in a minute. I'm just curious what the 1952 one looked like. I did like the movie. You want to play the soundtrack? The soundtrack's pretty cool too. But like in most movies, they tend to exaggerate and try not to show the real things are dramatic. Okay, dramatic lives of trapezes, artists, clowns, elephants, trainers, as told against a backdrop of a circus spectacular. Directed by Cease to Be the Mail, written by Frederick D. Frank, Barry London. Four credits: James Stewart, Charlton Heston, Betty Hutton. I think I saw something about that on back. I don't think it's the exact same premise, but let's get to the cast of the movie 2017 one. Hugh Jackman plays P.T. Barnum. Zac Efron plays Philip Kyle. Michelle Williams plays Charity Barnum. He plays his wife. Rebecca Ferguson plays Jenny Lind. Kelly Sutton, I'm not pronouncing. Letty Lutz, he plays the bearded woman. All right, this will be better. I don't think he slips out on his wife, but his wife gets fed up, and he basically loses his family in the process. And Zac Efron falls for a young lady, and it's not in basically the ideas that his family kind of shuns her. I don't know because she's black. I'm not sure. Don't remember why, but he's wealthy and she's not, and he doesn't really need it. But you get the gist of it. Okay, let's see. Sam Humphrey. I'm not pronouncing his name. Eric Anderson. It's a slew of very good actors and actresses in this movie. They all, it's a phenomenal movie, and you should watch it. I mean, you know, most movies, adaptation movies, and movies that are based on actual real people, if they actually show the actual real life, they'd be horrified. And I mean, I'm gonna get into the details of actual P.T. Barnum, and the stuff he did was unforgivable. And I know this is an uplifting movie, and then like Disney has done this before, and so many adaptations of many movies that became from actual real bios. I mean, they do exist, and the movies are good. The actors do a very good job portraying these people in this light that you normally in real life would not be portrayed by. But sometimes the problem is that it's not an honest portrayal. Sometimes you can inadvertently, tarnish something or not give an honest depiction of something. And many times in Hollywood, they are good at whitewashing or basically covering up. I mean, Chicago 6 is a good example. It's a very good movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the movie, but there's stuff in the movies that clearly never happened. It's a little bit insulting. Or in Miss America, of how they portray Dolores Shably. Wow, I'm not pronouncing that right. There's you can find on YouTube, literally find stuff on YouTube that actually shows that none of that stuff happened. It was a little irritating. You want it to happen, but and I don't want to say it's liberal left, trying to curve the narrative, but it's odd that you would just make up stuff that didn't ever happen. I mean, as far as like movies like the what is it, The Blind Side, or movies like The Green Book or The Help, where they've actually been sued, been told not to portray these people in that kind of light. So it wouldn't be surprising that the movie P.T. Barnum where the greatest showman on earth was based off of it, is not a real depiction. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to look up P.T. Barnum himself. I mean, I'm not going to stick on just, I was going to talk about Greatest Showman itself, but there's not much really alone by itself to really talk about. I can just jump around, but I'm going to go to P.T. Barnum himself first. Let's see. Maybe I should the actual real P.T. Barnum and not the okay, what roughly can do. He looks, yeah, yeah, Hugh Jackman. Uh, this guy's roughly can do. So P.T. Barnum is I'm not pronouncing his full name. That's nonsense. He was born in July 5th, 1810, in Bethune, Connecticut, USA, U.S. Died April 7th, 1891, in Connecticut. American showman who employed sensational forms of presentations, publicity to popularize such amusements as public museums and musical concerts and three-ring circuses. Okay. Um, let's see his circus facts and quotes. Um, you can go online and look any of this up. You can go on YouTube and find any of this stuff. So, even though Hollywood has, managed to cover, not really that cover up, but make it, sensationalized and make it fascinating, fancy, you can just go online and look up P.T. Barnum, the actual dude, and you can tell that not only that probably not even close to anything portraying P.T. Barnum. This is the Disney version of him because I mean, he did some pretty foul stuff, and nothing against the movie itself because the movie's a very good movie, but you can just go to Google. P.T. Barnum was 15 years old when his father died, and supporter of his mother. His five sisters, brothers fell largely upon his shoulders. After holding the various jobs, he became a publisher of the Danbury, Connecticut weekly newspaper, Herald of Freedom. Arrested 3 times for libel, he enjoyed his first taste of notoriety. In 1829, at the age of 19, Barnum married a 21-year-old Bethune woman, Charity Hallett, who was to bear his 4 daughters. And in the movie, it only has 2. Doesn't really matter. Who cares? In 1834, he moved to New York, where he founded his vocation as a showman. 1 year later, he successfully presented to Joyce Houth, a wise black woman who was averse as a 160-year-old nurse of George Washington. On her deathbed, the story was, however, exposed as a hoax. Well, yeah, but it's 160-year-old. You're a moron if you believe that. That's a given. But I guess back then, you had no way to prove that or disprove it. What did P.T. Barnum accomplish? I'm going to go for that first. Okay, I did that apparently. P.T. Barnum started his Barnum Billy Circus, took over the American Museum in New York in 1942. Over 2 decades, he attracted tens of millions of visitors, such as curiosities as the Chang and Ing, conjoined twins connected by the ligaments below the breastbones, the general's tomb, a man only 25 inches tall who provided the most palpable exhibit. He had some pretty questionable things, and I'm pretty much you can find this in here. I'm trying to think, see where. I don't want to type in freak show. Freaks and Bodies Exhibits Museum, which was seemingly human head toppling the fine bodies of the fish, was of course found to be, of course, it's fake among genuine curiosities of Chang, Ning, blah blah. However, Charlton Heston is a man. Charlton Stanley was a man only 25 inches long, tall, who was discovered by Barnum to prove to be the most powerful exhibit. Bali Housing, Stratton, as a general tune